each battle that we face, we defy the dark's embrace. Legends growing with each stride. In unity we confide. No fear in our eyes, just stars guiding us through endless wars. Destiny is in our hands. Together we take a stand. We are the light in the darkest night. With strength and valor we fight. Armored hearts shining bright. We will defeat the evil tonight. As the dawn breaks, shadows flee. In our victory we are free. Timeless heroes, legends glad. Together we save this land. We are the light in the darkest night. With strength and valor we fight. Armored hearts shining bright. We will defeat the evil tonight.
Check 1, 2.
There you go.
Check 1, 2.
There you go.
Check 1, 2. There it is. Yay.
Oh, there we go. I said there it is like 4 times to myself.
All right. Welcome to the stream and all the technical difficulties this morning or this afternoon. Welcome back to Original GM. I'm Hupahu, joined with Gangs, episode 48. Welcome back, guys.
Whee! 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 We're having a difficulty over here. Give me a moment.
More difficulties.
I know.
It's a great day in the neighborhood.
How you guys doing?
You asking us?
Everyone.
Yeah, no.
It's a great day in the neighborhood.
Been a crazy week.
I'm gonna eat another mushroom here. Tasty.
Welcome back, viewers. Thanks for sticking with our technical difficulties. While we're doing that, looky look. Go get your bundles. Not only that, I think I'm frozen.
I see you moving.
Yeah, cool. HighSlowBall.com. Go get the bundle, you guys. All 3 books. And with all 3 books comes the choice of also downloading 3 albums. We've got 1 album up now. Music for the Council Fucks, the Vampire Band, Sabian's Band. You can get the 3 books and also 3 albums. Like I said, there's only 1 album up now. Still being edited. But you will have access to it if you buy the bundle. 2 albums are the Council Fucks, heavy metal, and then 1 album is storytelling, folk rock, Ares' band, Z-Stick, and yeah,
All I can say is the council fucks, man.
I can hear the music coming through this phone, and I'm not sure why. So
okay.
Mute your if you're in the Discord, make sure the stream on the channel that you're watching stream is muted for yourself.
let's see here. How do I do that?
You think we would have all this together by now? After
So if go on the stream, how do I say this video? Like how all our videos are, there should be the stream video. If you click the options, you should be able to mute.
on Discord.
There, I got it.
There you go.
Woo!
Thank
Yeah, hopefully
you,
that works.
Brian.
Hopefully that works. We'll see.
All right. So I'm not going to ask about this week because it was a shitty week all the way around for so many of us.
That's crazy, man.
But now we are going to leave reality and come to the other reality and have a good time.
There you go.
We're going to have a couple streams today until later this evening, and then we're going to take a break for a couple hours. I don't know. Brian, Des, what, like 9:30 come back? Is that, or is it going to
At
be?
this point, apparently the plan changed. So whenever you want, that's our bad. We didn't really need to start this early, apparently. So I don't know. You want to do 4 instead? Whatever, man. It's all good. You know what I mean?
Well, I am game currently to game.
You are the game.
Fuck, we went like 30 some fucking minutes on a be right back. So hopefully
That's the fucking week everyone's had right there. That 30 fucking minutes.
Yeah. Seriously.
yeah. So that 30 minutes doesn't count. So this episode's going to be like 3.5 hours or some shit instead. So maybe 4. I don't know. We'll see. But
We're like a river. We're all fluid.
as Eden would say, we're off like a herd of turtles. I did a new map for Bolscar. The other one was shit. So it is up.
Home looks great.
Yeah. So that's where we're going to start. Is in Bolscar. At the Dumont Manor, you will notice the map is actually turned around the other way to where it's supposed to be. And, hold your questions till the end. The map has been spun, unless it's a question about something not working, and then feel free.
You're
Is everything
good.
working?
No, good. Yeah,
Can
we're
you see the
good.
map? Everything's
Yeah.
good?
We're good to go.
Okay. When we last left off, Gordon and Zira had renounced Shagrus and picked up Nira instead. Nixara had cast a spell. Gordon and Zira become immortals of Nira. Inside the room currently is Godwin, Anthea, Alex, Bodan, Nixara, and Zira and Gordon. Nice little picture of Godwin's home there. This
Very
is
nice.
kind of a meeting room, so to say. There's a fireplace with some nice chairs. There's about 4 tables in this room. There's a little kitchen area, stove with a sink and some food. There is an exit to the west that goes into the dojo. There is a staircase at the top left, that goes down into the basement underneath the Dumont Manor. There are some other structures in the Dumont Manor as well. I will give you an idea what it looks like where you're currently at. The whole Dumont structure and manor runs from that location to this location. You are currently right here inside that building. Right next to it is the dojo. It's a circular chamber that runs to the rest of the house over here where the bedrooms and things like that are located. And then there's a couple other structures out here and then a fountain. But that is the Dumont Manor. Finally, I got it done.
Bedroom? We don't need no stinking bedroom.
And currently, this is taking place in here. Anthea? Godwin?
Yep.
Nixara, after she does what she does with Gordon and Zira, she will step forward to the two of you.
All right.
Bless you.
And she will say, there is a need for immortals within this city. We need to protect the House Dumont, and we need to bring more balance to the chaos that is taking.
Couldn't agree more.
I gladly accept.
The goddess Nira has requested that you accept my spell so that you may rise and ascend to immortality. The two of you will become Justicars of Nira if you accept.
I accept.
She will cast a spell just like she did with Gordon and Zira. And the two of you are also filled with a quickening, a download, a dump of information and power that comes directly from Nira, the goddess of vengeance. It fully envelops your being, and outside the game, you guys already knew this was going to take place because we had to spend many hours preparing the immortality abilities. We will have the immortal journal that will release eventually, but currently, right now, you guys have taken time
It's so cool.
to become immortal. Different game mechanics and rules for immortal.
Explain those as we go.
Yeah. We can explain them as we move along. It's
Pretty fucking awesome.
pretty cool. So the two of you are infused with this energy. Now you have done what you needed to do to prepare your characters. So there will be some time spent currently right here doing that. Like you're able to use PowerPoints to raise abilities or levels or such things. You also have the ability to create an artifact, which you guys will currently do right here.
Okay.
As you are brought into immortality,
Which we already did.
which you guys already did outside gameplay, but we're going to say that it takes place in this room where you're at. Welcome to immortality.
I take it. Thank you very much.
She will say, the goddess Nira has many plans, and the city of Volscar is in chaos. The council is not meeting, and they are running and attempting to hide from the immortals. They're coming from all over the many planes of existence. There are many things happening. We know that currently some of the gods have come together to stop the fires and the destruction within Volscar and bring it back to its fullness. This will take place shortly. However, the goddess Nira has a plan for the four of you. And I will be taking you there along with Alexandria and other immortals that will be coming. As she says that, in through the doorway comes Alexandria and a girl named Star and Val. We're going to stop right there and we're going to go back to the keep. If you don't mind.
No, not at all. Who would mind that?
So
Fucking sad. Sorry.
we're going to go back to the keep in Queensland currently, and everyone is in the places that they were before. You remember where you were? Anybody have a question as to where you were? You want to remind the viewers where you're at?
We were with Sabian under the throne room in the conduit, jamming the fuck out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm in the comeback in.
You are.
Zed.
Zed is in the comeback.
Eris was with Vela. She had put her to sleep, and she was about to go find Sabian.
And Doll was in there with Eden. They were all in the same room.
And Seth was with Vela holding her hand. He's knelt down beside the bed and he's holding her hand.
Uh-oh.
And Kara
Oh,
is still outside the alchemy room holding her weapon.
Shit's fucked up.
No, it fixed itself.
All right. So we're going to go step by step on what's going on. As you guys are sitting in with Bela, she's unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Tuffy will come in there. And he will take a look at her.
Eris will tell him, I think she has some kind of trauma. There's something. She freaked out, Tuffy. And he'll look at the wall.
He
and
looks at the
say,
wall and he's like, I see that.
That was her fist. Tuffy.
Yes, she is a monk. It makes sense. I would assume that during her time of meditation, she would understand these things are happening to her. But it is much deeper than we all understand. It is deep in the form of blood magic. There really is only a few ways to cure such a thing. And I do not have the ability to do so. However, I can wake her up and calm her.
So you're telling me that what's going on with her links back to blood magic?
Yes, it links back to the ancient. It's not something I can cure, but it is something I can calm down presently.
Okay.
Can Sabian fix it?
I do not know.
Eris would say he needs to not cast any more blood magic right now. He can barely stand up straight.
I am going to cure her or calm her down and wake her up. you were all prepared for that.
Absolutely.
You will cast a spell and reach out and touch Vela. And what did you use to put her to sleep?
Bardic charm.
Bardic charm. He wakes her up. She wakes up and she's smiling. When she wakes up, she looks around. She goes, "What the hell? What are you guys doing in my room?" And she stands up. Oh,
Aries will just smile at her.
oh,
My beautiful.
How you feeling, sweetie?
better. I remember now. I don't want to think about that right now. Duffy's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "I think so." He's like, "You need to try to focus your energy and your meditation in another area from where you were. Everything will be fine. Have no worries." Velia,
Yeah.
where were you?
Enter the throne room in the
That's right.
conduit with
So-
Ray
so-
Fabian.
Velia, Reva, and Sabian are in there. And Sabian's writing a song and jamming out. He's been desiccating and all that. You guys have been talking about that. But the fact that he's in there, he's all right. He's there. You feel a touch through the conduit from Valk herself. Go to Volska. You will meet Alexandria at the Dumont Manor. She awaits your arrival. Go now. Your presence is needed there.
Yes, ma'am.
Reva, you feel the conduit that there's a presence there. But you don't hear that. You just feel that there's a presence.
Does she recognize the presence?
Sabian stops singing and looks around at you too. She says,
It's Valk. She is charging me to go to Volska. It is not my choice anymore.
And there it is.
The trade for not being alike and becoming immortal.
fucking gods.
It's always the same. I love you guys. And she'll embrace her sister.
Sabian's like,
And as she is embracing Reva, she's going to telepathy Vay.
okay,
My brother.
yes. He's gone.
I do love you. I appreciate everything that you do for us.
Aw.
I don't want to leave, but Valk is charging me with going to Volskar
Okay.
to meet Alexandria.
We'll stay in touch and let us know what's going on. Thank you for letting me know. There's so much happening right now. Val, it's insane.
It is. And just to, before I forget to tell you again, I had a vision on Blackroot of the abomination that was created when I went up against the two dragon gods. That abomination reached out to me from the spirit plane. It will eventually come after. I don't think that it can for another couple of years, But,
So the time has come.
but that is laying in wait.
If I were you, I would try to figure out who the chosen one and the protector is, because they'll be responsible. It's out of your hands now. It will go on to the next generation.
And Rava has the blades.
I'm sure they will.
So I'm sure they'll come for those
Come,
blades. Maybe if you guys can figure out who it is, she can just give them the blades.
I'm sure she'd be willing to do that and release that responsibility. I know I would.
I'm with her now. I'm gonna leave from here.
Where are you guys? I cannot find you.
It's better if you don't know, my brother.
Lorelai, you tell Grandpa to get that dog inside and shut him up, please.
It's better if you don't know.
Okay, secrets? Secrets?
No secrets.
Go to the club.
No secrets.
Clubhouse.
It's more like if you don't know where we are, then nobody can extract that information from you in times of great danger.
Plausible deniability. I understand.
That
I can't promise you that I would still won't try to figure it out, but
I don't love you any less, and I'm sorry.
you're fine. I love you too, sister.
I'll be in touch.
May Gold Star guide your steps.
Thank you.
The fuck?
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck?
All right, so you what do you do?
She will release Rava, kiss her on the cheek.
Love you too.
Now
Fucking-
I'm-
Yeah.
Mm.
Be careful.
You will always be able to reach me. Especially if you come here.
Mhm.
She'll nod at Sabian.
He
and
nods to you.
She will right from there to the conduit in Volskar.
You go to the House Dumont and you see Alexandria and Star, this character you've never met before. You feel an immortal, though. You feel another immortal. It is Hawk's new character.
Nice.
His immortal character. Since he did not have one, we went ahead and took care of that and rolled one up. So you see Valia or Val. You see Val. You guys are standing in front of the House Dumont. Alexandra has been waiting. You guys came from Elysium, and she's been waiting for Val to show up.
Is she the same tier as me? Or opposite? That's how we can only
Right.
tell if they're the same or opposite, right? Is she either of those?
What was yours again?
Thought.
Yeah, no, she's not. She's not opposite or the same.
Gravity.
You're void, right? So yeah, no, you don't.
Can I tell what goddess? Or
So
what
it's Val.
symbol?
You can feel it's
Mhm.
Val. She is an immortal
Nice.
Val.
And she's wearing the holy symbol around her neck.
Yes. Go ahead and describe yourself.
She is about 5.5 feet and wearing all black and black hair, dark blue eyes, and kind of pale, real thin. She's small. Has 2 katanas sticking out of her belt and bows when you, well, half bow when you come up. She just looks you over and smiles. Then she just goes, "You're pretty."
Well, thank you.
She has an accent, Vulcan accent.
You look like you could be my sister.
Alexandra does. Yeah, you do look similar. May I introduce Star? Star, this is Val.
It is a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Without further ado, we need to go in here, and justice needs to meet vengeance. Let me introduce you to the other immortals that are preparing for our run. And she turns and she walks into the house du monde, i.e., where we were a minute ago, and you three walk in.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we're going to go back to the come back in.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Oh boy. All right.
Zed, you're standing there at the bar, and in comes walking Xavier. Sal smiles at him, and he comes over and he greets you. He's like, "Hey, man."
How's it going?
Yeah, good, better, I suppose. Like, he looks at Sal. He says, "Should I talk to him now?" And he's like, "Oh no, we'll all be gathering shortly." And Sal gets up and he walks over into the room where the bards play, where the stage is. And in there, you see Rona
Mhm.
and some other House Ryzen members. You would see Natan Regal. You would see Tessa Von Rue. You would see Adric and Clip, Lady Deathstrike, Trill, this monk named Momo, which is a new player character that Dez is playing. And I will throw the art up here shortly. And then you would see Pindar. You would see Minar. And you guys walk in. Also sitting in this room is Jamal. You would see Lady Sabra up against the wall.
The fuck is going on?
Quite a few individuals are in this room.
This is not a good thing.
That's not. There's some
This is a
shit
great
going on.
room. I don't know if I want you to show me this room. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I will here shortly. You don't need
I
to see
know.
that. You got an understanding of what it looks like. Xavier will walk up towards the stage with Sal and you, and they'll kind of stand there, and Sal will say to you, "We are going to have a meeting here shortly. Just hang out and wait, and it will be revealed here shortly." Sound good?
Very well.
Lots of people there.
Standing room only, apparently.
Momo, which is Dez's new character, you are in this room with your master, Lady Deathstrike. You're standing next to Clip and Lady Deathstrike and Adric and Trill and Pindar, kind of in the corner of the room. Momo, you have been brought here by Lady Deathstrike. By orders of Salvadorian Crossbane, there's going to be some kind of meeting taking place. You have been brought from the Temple of Aphrodite in Queensland to this location. Natan is also in here with Tessa Von Rue, which are their Aphrodite. You know, Natan is Aphrodite's son, Sal's half brother. And then you know who Tessa is as well.
Volumes.
Um, I will allow you to describe her. And I will pull up a picture of what she looks like.
So she's half Easterner, half tall elf. She has Easterner like facial features, but she has long white hair and white eyes and I don't know.
There is
Um,
there is currently a picture of what she looks like that should be showing on the screen.
No, we can't see it.
Just space.
Hold on, 1 second.
Oh Lord.
Oh boy.
There we go. Came back.
The stream going in and out.
It did for just a second.
Only on Twitch, not on Discord.
This is what she looks like.
she's so pretty.
Where?
Um,
God damn, there's a lot of people in my room.
all we can see is the room.
It'll disappear in a
Oh,
second.
we just see a lot of fucking people right now.
Anyways, very sweet and
Showing up yet?
Nope.
And I see her in the corner, but it's
All right.
Map went away.
There you go. That's what she looks like.
There we go.
there she is.
Thanks.
She's so cute.
so cute.
Yeah, it's the cute ones you got to worry about.
Exactly.
She's cute. Look, kind of just taking everything in quiet. She doesn't have the Easterner accent because she wasn't necessarily raised over there. But yeah, just wearing a robe, has a staff, and just kind of very unassuming, which is the way she likes it.
All right. Now we're going to go back to the castle, the keep. The king orders everybody to appear and gather inside of the den. Everybody within the castle, the princesses, everybody, Seth, all of y'all.
Oh yeah.
All y'all.
All right.
Rin, Zin, Rosa, Timmy, Teardrop, Kit, Zumbar, all of y'all to report.
Okay.
You'll kiss Vela's hand and head down.
She goes with you. She
Oh.
says she's been called as well.
Uh-oh.
Dog, you've been called.
Okay.
Reva, Sabian, Eras, all y'all. So you all join, the whole party, all the folks join in the den. And you guys all gather there, and Vay says, we have all been invited to come back in for a meeting with House Ryzen and Master Rona Mashida. From what I've been told, there will be a lot of individuals that will be gathering at the comeback in for some sort of briefing. So I suggest we all get together and head that way. I know we have been staying in the castle and not leaving, he says, but this is big. There's something getting ready to happen. And we all need to be a part of this. Ayla is also in that group that I didn't mention. Sejord as well. Valkyrie, Captain Valkyrie has also been requested to show up. And back in Volscar, when you guys come in the door, Alexandria greets you and introduces Star to everyone. Star, you see Gordon and Zira and Godwin and Anthea. And then you see your master sitting over in the corner as well, Boda, which is also Anthea's master. And Nixara greets Alexandria as well.
I said Godwin will obviously greet Alexandria.
Okay. When you guys walk in the door, you were outside and it looked like it's at night, okay, and it looked like the city itself had calmed down. Like a lot of the buildings, the fires are all out. It seems to be repaired, so to say. It's not what it was before. It's as if something was done to fix everything. And I'm having some issues with maps. I apologize here. So same thing will stay up there. So yeah, you guys are all standing there, greeting one another.
Doctor.
You can feel immortals. She's an immortal. You can, and Val's with them. You can feel, of course, that Val is an immortal as well. Val, you will feel Gordon and Zira. Star, you immediately feel that Zira is of the same sphere. Oh, wait.
I think Godwin is not. I don't know what Zero is.
What sphere is Godwin?
Void.
Okay, so you will feel it as well. So you all know that you're of the same sphere, basically. And so I don't think there's any opposition spheres in this room.
Opposition void is energy.
Right.
There's no energy spheres here. You are matter or no thought. What's the opposite of thought? Gravity. There is no gravity within this room.
I'm matter.
What is Anthea?
Matter.
So yeah, there's no opposition,
Entropy.
I believe. Huh?
Entropy.
So
matter.
you would feel Anthea, you would feel the opposition to your sphere. That doesn't mean you're enemies or anything. You just feel the opposition, which is entropy. You would feel that off of Gordon. So basically how the spheres work is the opposite spheres are affected by one another. Meaning that you're weaker against entropy, just like he's weaker against your sphere.
I can show that. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
For our viewers.
All right. So, of course, when you guys walk in, Gordon will walk up to Val.
Zira will too. She'll walk over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Godwin's going to walk over Alexandria and Val. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Gordon will look at Val and say, "We have been our house has been damaged, and you and I are possibly part of the cause of that. Find out more information, but we have to fix this. It has to be fixed. I will not stand by and let this take place any longer. I believe Nigel is responsible.
Definitely.
And I cannot allow that to continue. Are you with me? It seems that justice and vengeance have joined together and will be working together in this endeavor.
May I ask, what is a nodule?
Nigel is the crypt keeper, the god of disease. He is the lord of murder, and his worst is known as Erishkigal, and she is the goddess of undeath. They have been hidden since the remaking, and it would seem that they have shown themselves by assaulting the house of Vane.
They have toyed with us and they have used us.
Yes,
They need to be brought to justice.
yes,
Good idea.
vengeance must come upon them as well. Alexandria will say, we must leave and go to the comeback inn.
What is this?
It is a tavern and inn that is out of time. Our presence has been requested there. Valk and Nira want us to appear as well. At that point, Nixara will turn and look at Godwin, and she will say, Bodan can watch the house and watch the manor while we go.
Thank you, Bodan.
He nods at you. He says, nothing will enter this place without going through me first.
That I do trust.
Alexandria will say, the city of Volscar has somehow been repaired. The fires are no longer burning, and the buildings are intact again. I believe it is a combination of power from the gods themselves. I don't know the details, but it is much different out there. Gordon will go and look back out the window like you guys were staring out before and kind of take a look at what's going on out there. Alexandria will say, we haven't time to waste. We need to come together and transport to the comeback inn. If you will all join me.
Of course.
Alex stands up and walks over that way as well. So everyone kind of gathers together. Do you go over there, Anthea?
Yes, absolutely. If Nira requested it, then yes.
Yeah, Nick Sara is saying that Neri is requesting it. So you all kind of gather together, and Alexandria will support you all to outside the comeback inn. The same thing happens with Vay and the others, and you all gather together and enter the comeback inn.
Everybody, that's crazy. What the fuck is getting ready to happen right now?
The end.
Each of you is given a half giant, half frost giant hand that says, "Come back in," and he brings you into the come back in. When you go into the come back in, you will. So Sabian is there. Reva, it's everybody. Ren, all you all are.
Everyone.
When you step into the come back in, the first thing you notice, Eras, is that it is the old time. It is not the new time.
So we're way far in the past.
So you would assume that it feels like way far in the past to you. You should be able to see the map now.
Yeah.
As you all gather and come into this main room right here, you will see that it is absolutely filled. I have placed people where you can go and sit down. If you want to move somewhere else, you can. It's just a generalization of where I think people would sit. Kara, Eden, I mean, it's everybody.
I was going to say, Kara's already sitting.
Risa, all of y'all.
That's crazy.
And Risa can sit on Kara's lap, so.
Risa's standing. This seems very, very formal. As you guys walk into the room and step in your locations and sit in your seats, you will see up front Manar, Xavier, Sal, and Master Rona Machida. Over in the corner, you see Trill. Tuffy will walk up there. This room is absolutely packed. Can you see the map?
Oh, yeah.
Yup.
I don't know, but yeah.
I'm too blind to see it over there.
And Seth would let Baylor sit, and he would
Well,
stand.
I meant a lot of people.
A lot.
There are a lot of folks in here. A
You
lot of
guys,
people.
he's even got tokens for familiars on the board.
Right.
Yeah. You look
Feeling a
up
little claustrophobic.
zigzag.
That's concerning.
Overall, I bet Goldie got excited to leave the house, huh?
I do not have this token. I did
No,
not
it's
make
fine.
it. I'm
It's
sorry.
I don't care. I just think it's, because he was ragging her about going somewhere.
Lily, Myra. You guys come in. Natan's in here. Anthea, your sister's here. She's
My what?
your sister, Tessa,
Who that?
is here. She's sitting right up here next to Natan.
He's doing a bit.
You are right. Godwin, your father's here.
I see him.
Seth, you will notice that Lady Saber is here.
Cool.
You all kind of just take your positions in this room.
There are so many fucking people in this room.
I'll let you kind of look around at the map. If you need me to zoom in anywhere, I can. Just kind of give you a general understanding of what the hell is going
Who's up
on.
here by Ares?
And Doll, yeah. Who's between Ares and
Who's between Ares and Doll up there?
That is Dusty.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, even Dusty's there.
Is that
Everybody's there. Oh, God.
Vala is up against the wall behind Ares, leaning up against it. Elis is next to her. This room is absolutely packed with NPCs and characters alike. I believe everybody and everything that is in gameplay right now, as far as direct NPCs and player characters, are gathered in this room.
Dun, dun, dun.
There you go.
There it is. Well timed for once.
What the fuck, man?
Sal smiles as everybody's sitting down. He's got this little grin on his face, and he nods at everybody and says hello, as you all gather in here. Master Rona looks really serious. Xavier is kind of shuffling his feet. Zed, you're over there by Xavier, and he's like telepathying to you. He's like, dude, shit's gonna get ready to get revealed. The shit I shared with Sal, I suppose he's going to share with all of you.
Well, all right then. I suppose that's a step towards a whole hell of a lot that's about to go down then.
Yeah, I think your mind's getting ready to get blown. He smiles at you, but it's necessary that these things are said. And at about that point, as the party and everyone gathers in to come back in, its ever shifting walls are glowing like a faint color. You can see temporal magic start to invoke on the walls themselves, like it's locking you in this room, so to say. It's separating you from the rest of the inn, and there's definitely some power in this room right now. Even individuals such as Sabra and Pindar, they look at the walls like, what's going on? Like they weren't aware that this was going to happen. You can tell that whatever's taking place, no one in the room was aware that this was going to happen. When you look at the exit that goes back into the other room of the come back in, there's temporal magic there. It looks like if you would look above a candle, that's what it looks like. There's no door. It just looks like there's some sort of magic there. Sal and Rona are standing up there in front of you guys with Xavier. And their presence, it looks like their presence is commanding. And Sal begins, his tone is laced with frustration, but determination. And he says, listen up, you ragtag bunch, ragtag band and troublemakers and saviors alike. And he smiles, he says, you think defeating Mammon was the end game. And this was just the appetizer. A morsel to keep you occupied while the real threats pull their strings. This world is a spinning top on the edge of a blade. And guess what? The blade's getting sharper. Sal's feline eyes kind of narrow a little bit, and his voice drops down to what seems like a growl, and he steps closer to you guys on the edge of the stage. He says, the Immortals are ripping each other apart in Volscar. Some of you are aware of this. The Necrothians are bringing more of their oversized toys into this sphere. That ain't chaos. That's design. A symphony of ruin conducted by hands you haven't yet to begun to fathom. I'll give you one guess who holds the baton. You see Rona step forward as he says that. His voice is real calm, real resonant, carrying the weight of his ability as a time god. And he says, the world teeters on the brink of calamity. Yes, there is a pattern, as Sal has spoken. Threads weaving in and out of time. Some are threads of destiny, some of destruction. Gemini, the architect of timelines, has set his gaze on Ashentale, not merely just to find Manar, but to claim this world as the cornerstone of his ambition. Rona's eyes flash with a faint otherworldly light, and his voice deepens as he continues. The crystalline sphere of Ashentale is unique. It is pliable. It is rich with energy and offers the possibility of perfect timeline. Timelines Gemini seeks to shape to his will. His arrival would mean an end of choice, to freedom, to balance. He would carve this world into a monument of order, a prison where every step, every breath is dictated by his design alone. And then Sal says, and if that's not bad enough, he's looking for Manar, not to destroy him, but to use him. Manar's chaos isn't just a nuisance. It is a tool, a distraction that Gemini plans to wield against the Council of Gods themselves. That's the scale of what you're up against. Gods with egos bigger than this in itself. And trust me, that's saying something. Turns and looks over at Xavier and he says, you may reveal to them what I have brought you here to reveal. Xavier kind of shuffles his feet, barbarian dressed in silver armor that looks like scales of some sort. He steps forward and into the conversation. His demeanor it's a little bit shaken, as you can tell, but he seems very resolute. The dim light from the inn is catching his features as he speaks, and he says, I didn't come to you out of loyalty or redemption. I came because I've seen what Gemini's arrival would bring. I've felt it. He is both salvation and destruction, a paradox wrapped in power. Yes, he preaches balance, but his definition of balance is absolute control. He doesn't seek harmony, he seeks dominance. The holy and unholy fleets of his followers, they are the vanguard of war to claim this sphere, to take it from you. A war that will shatter more than just Ashentail. It will spill into the timelines that are yet unwritten. Gemini just doesn't want to take Ashentail. He wants to rewrite it. Every moment of your past, present, and future, every victory you've earned, every loss you've suffered, will be reshaped to fit his grand design. He is not a God of mercy. He is a God of inevitability. And if he gets his hands on Manar or on this world, none of us will be free. Kind of holds his head down a minute, takes a big deep breath, and you see Rona kind of step forward and smile at him and nod. He says, there is hope, but it requires vigilance, sacrifice, and unity amongst you all. He looks at Sal. He says, the House Ryzen stands as a guardian of this world and its freedoms, but even the House Ryzen cannot face this alone. The Antonon cube, and he turns and looks over Zira, may yet be the key to undoing this spiral of chaos. But you have to wield it wisely. Every action, every choice you make will shape the outcome more than you know. For the cube of Antonon does not just trap infernal beings and those from the abyss, but anyone. Sal grins and steps forward. He says, so what's it going to be? You going to keep bumbling about through this mess blindfolded? Or are you ready to tear the blindfold off and take a swing at destiny itself? Many of you have feared me. Many of you have thought me something that I am not. But I bring you the answers that you seek. And though this great calamity weighs heavy on all of you, we must come together in unity. These forces that come against you cannot be stopped by a single house or a single god or a single being. It's going to require all of us coming together. I did not have to come to this world and its bullshit, but I did. I cannot alone be its savior. It is going to require all of us coming together, working as a team. Families shaking hands with other families. Gods agreeing to work together. If Gemini comes to this world, and I tell you now, his minions are poking at the edge of this crystalline sphere. His designs are much greater than what we have suspected. He wants your world. There's a power here. A power that can forge timelines, even in other crystalline spheres. He seeks this. Manar causes chaos in Volskar as a distraction. He wants to ascend into the form of godhood. That is his design. And he has brought the godchild of evil here and in Volskar to combine the power of immortals, to suck from them their very life forces, gaining enough energy to raise his master to godhood. That is Manav's design. And as was said before, Gemini captures him. That will only be a greater step towards this world's destruction and dominance by Gemini and his minions. We have a choice. Do we kill the evil? Do we stop the evil? So that another greater evil can take over this world? Or do we allow that evil? Perhaps even help that evil, so that the greater evil cannot do what its design and desire is to do. I know many of you may have questions, and yes, some of us have answers. If we had to destroy the Necrothians, what would happen? Would it bring him? You have collected the cure for the necrophage. But is that cure perhaps a weapon? There are many different opinions, morals, and ethics in this room, many different ways of thinking. Therefore, there will be many different discussions and many different choices and opinions. But I urge you all, come together. Do what you can to fight these things that are taking place within Ashton, because I cannot stop it alone. Nor can Master Rona, though he was a time god. The information that Xavier has revealed to us, the forces of Gemini are unlike anything. The Necrothians are merely bugs on the windshield of his power.
You did say that.
Immortals and mortals alike must come together to defeat this force. So what's it going to be? You see him walk back around where he was, standing to the backside up against the wall. Rona looks back at him and he's like, I believe that is all that needs to be said. You have all become aware of some things you were not aware of before. Things that we have recently become aware of. Minar's role is causing chaos in Volscar. It's undeniable that must be dealt with. Destabilizing the city is merely chaos for the council, chaos for the immortals, chaos for the gods. But he has deeper motives. Do we bring order to Volscar? Do we enforce the council and their authority, aligning with them? The goddess Valk wishes to do so. Bringing justice to the city of Volscar means reinstilling the council. Or are you going to ignite vengeance and purge corrupt immortals and further Nira's wrath upon the city of Volscar? It would seem that is what she wishes to do. Not restore the council, but stop those that are hunting the council. Stop the chaos. Will we hunt Minar? Will we end his chaos? There are many factions and many mortals that are going to clash in recent days and in the future. Minar plans to ascend to godhood with the instability he has created. We must choose whether to stop him or use him as a bargaining chip against Gemini, perhaps a barrier between us and him. For it is inevitable that he comes. I leave you with these words. In honor, I have revealed what I can to help you. And you see him bow. And the room falls to a silence. The weight of the speech, the settling over the party as you guys prepare and think about what has just taken place and been revealed to you, leaves a silence around the room. And then you start to hear mumbles and conversations between individuals. And I leave you to that room to find out what you guys do from this point on as individual characters. We're going to take a quick break right there. And we will be right back.
Holy
Welcome back.
Woo.
We took a long break that time. Sorry, guys.
Some of us had to stop crying and panic attacking.
Okay. You guys are in that room. Doesn't look like anybody can leave presently. Conversations start to happen. So I'm going to start to the left and go around. Hupahu Cikala.
Oh goodness.
Do any of your characters want to discuss anything with anybody? Let's start with Zira. She's like basically holding on to Gordon. There's really nobody around you, but
Yeah, she would just look at him and say, "That's crazy. So the Antonon cube can trap anyone."
can't hear you.
She would say, "That's crazy. So the Antonon cube can trap anyone, not just devils."
Yeah. not much was mentioned about my house. But Nira wants immortals dead that are attempting to destroy the council. So I'm sure there are immortal those responsible for House Fame.
I'm sure.
I'm thinking Bolskar is where we need it.
You guys talking out loud or?
No, they probably are telepathying, the two of them. I'm just going around the room to different characters. Yeah, they aren't talking a lot. So Rava, you and Sabian. Sabian's drinking a bottle of blood. You just see he just keeps tipping it up and tipping it up. And he looks over at you and he's like, "That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on that we didn't know about." He says that out loud. Vase next to you guys, and he's like, "No shit." That stops or at least brings the question on whether we should attack the Necrothians directly.
Eris is right there. She would say, no, I absolutely agree. What if we stop them and it brings him? You know, I wonder if Minar even has the power to stop Gemini if we let him ascend to godhood. If we did and he could stop Gemini, then we could deal with that at a later time. But you guys, this is huge. If his goal is to fuck with the timelines and make them perfect, that means erasing everything that's ever been and everything that we've ever done or are. It's worse than anything we've come up against.
Dusty says, "Yes, there's perfect timeline power. There's power here that is in no other world. It was created with it, so it's there. I saw it. It was tempting.
Yeah.
Yeah." But he's like, "You saw it where?" And Dusty says, "I cannot tell you that. It was in time." Godwin,
Uh-huh.
Dad, do you want to say anything to anybody? Godwin, you're sitting next to Jamal. Anthea, Saber's behind you, and Nixara.
For me, with everything, Anthea's just shaking her head and kind of taking everything in. Just kind of like an oh shit moment
Right.
realization.
Oh, yeah, Godwin just kind of turns around to look at Gordon and just says, "Same plan then."
He's like, "I am concerned about the House of Vane. I wish to fix that issue." He'll say out loud. He'll say,
Yeah,
and the
say if it's
goddess
an issue that's gonna, give Minar more of his, more power and more chaos, because it still feels rather connected to his plan.
it could be a distraction as well, but Nira wants to kill the immortals that are trying to kill the council. And I'm sure those involved with the House of Vane and its destruction are those type of immortals. Saber will say, "Yes, most assuredly, the immortals that are behind those responsible for the House Vane probably want to see the Council dead. But whether they are in league with Manar remains to be seen.
I mean, Zed just would have went to Xavier and spoken to him.
Xavier's like, I hope they fucking figure something out and end up working together because, like Sal said, we all need to work together if we're going to do anything. Question is, what exactly to do?
Well, that is the question. Does Gemini feel that Manar is a threat to him or just a tool?
No, he's not a threat to Gemini as far as that goes. He'll be hiding from him. He cannot take Gemini on. If he raises to godhood, I don't even know if he can take him on.
So if that was the case, we'd have to let him ascend to godhood and convince him to be on our side.
Perhaps. He looks over his shoulder at the other Manar like, you got anything to say? And the other Manar's looking in a book currently, not even paying attention to what's going on.
Oh my god.
Wow. So we
Sorry, it was
can,
on.
can anybody see like what book he's reading?
No, he's across from the room from you, Anthea. You wouldn't be able to see what it was.
I think she meant more anybody is like Ken, Zed, or obviously Xavier. Would we be able
Well,
to see?
I put that out. So if anybody wants to jump up on that one.
Spider.
There was a giant spider. I'm so sorry.
It was on me.
There was a spider in the lab.
It was huge. I don't even know where it went either.
It went.
Zed, all you see is a black covered book. There's no symbols on it or title or anything.
All right. So all the power in this room has information, but no plan.
Well, it would seem that we all need to discuss things and try to figure this out. Xavier will say.
I have a question. Is near in Alexandria there or just Alexandria?
Just Alexandria.
Is
Sorry.
Andrea and Sarah.
Alexandria is over by the door with Alex, and then also Nixara is like right behind Jamal,
Okay.
at the table that you're at, basically.
And Val's standing there.
Yeah, and Val is right behind you over here.
So I guess I can, as in Thea, turn to Nixara and well, no, because there's would Anthea know that the field was going on? Because you said everybody had felt that.
Yeah, you're aware that some kind of tip field covering the exit and glowing on the walls.
Okay.
I mean, we already know what Nero wants.
Well, I guess still just turn to her and Anthea would ask, are you able to communicate with Nera? Does she know what just transpired?
Yes.
Does
I was able to transfer the information to her, though I had to do it in the past. We are not currently in our correct timeline. We are in the past.
That checks out. And God would return to Jamal. Like, well, you've gone your entire life with devious plans. So, what's your take?
He smiles at you and rubs his bald head, and he's like, well, it would seem that Volskar is most likely the epicenter of what is taking place. I would guess that if that is taken care of, it will affect what's going on outside of Volskar. But my concern is this Gemini individual. It seems like, from what he told us, we're not going to be able to defeat the Necrothians without bringing Gemini.
And from what we've been told before, if we don't defeat the Necrothians, Gemini's sending some of his people anyway.
Yeah. So, one way or another, he's coming. It sounds like, and that's my concern. If these individuals in this room are as concerned about him as they are, then we need to know more about him. So that's where my focus seems to be right now. Is I need to learn more about him. Looks like that individual up there on the stage might have the answers to some of the questions I might have. So I think I'm going to go talk to him.
Fair enough.
He'll get up and walk behind you and Anthea and come across over here and stop in front of Zed and Xavier.
And Zed will nod to him as he approaches.
Zed?
Grandma.
Xavier. Really like to pick your brain and find out more about this destruction god, this time god you brought to our attention, this Gemini fellow. Could we maybe discuss him? That topic? And Xavier would say, sure. What is it you want to know? And he's like, so they said that he's concerned about a perfect timeline, about some sort of energy that's present here that he wants. Xavier's like, yeah, that's what they said. He's like, well, what can you tell me about that? And Xavier's like, I have no idea about any of that. I can just tell you about, Gemini and his forces and the past incursions that we have been a part of with other worlds. We've taken over many worlds. And it's always the same. No one can stand up to the forces of Gemini. He holds both light and darkness in the palm of his hand. Good and evil work together in unity to bring what he calls the balance, which is no balance at all. So Seth, you're over with Vela. You wanted to say something to Vela?
Actually, I had a question for pretty much anybody that's around. How do we get Minar on our side?
Okay. So anybody within, earshot, like right around there, can hear that.
25 feet, we can't see what that is.
And then he will actually speak up so that Xavier can hear him.
Okay.
And say, does Gemini or his forces have a weakness? Something that we can exploit?
You see him just stand there, and you can tell he's thinking, and he's just shaking his head. in the past, any sort of weakness that we might have had was instantly taken care of with his magic or more numbers, more forces. He tends to hit things with overwhelming force. If an area, if there's a battle and some of our troops are getting beaten in that area, he strikes it with overwhelming force, more than is ever needed. So maybe drawing forces from one area to another, but the fact of the matter is he has more than enough that it does not weaken any other flank when he does so. Manar will speak up at that point and he'll say, perhaps his weakness is in the fact that he does control both good and evil. If those two forces being diametrically opposed to one another are somehow working together, and we can find a way to free them from working together, then it could perhaps cause dissension within his ranks. I'm not exactly sure how that would be done, because they are all, for the most part, controlled by ruining magic, which is difficult to sever.
Can Eris hear that? from where
Yeah.
she's sitting?
Yeah.
And how that could be done on a massive level through all the forces is very, very much hard to discover. I would assume that the answer to this question and this weakness probably resides in the other one of me, the one that he seeks. If he was the one providing the runic magic for his forces, then perhaps he is the very one that can exploit it.
So, seeing as you are similar to that other, would you have an idea of how we could get that other to work with us in some fashion?
He would need to see you as worthy. He would need to see you as a piece on the chessboard. If you are not a piece on the chessboard, he will not be interested in even discussing anything with you. You would have to hold enough power that he would deem it necessary to speak.
He kind of looks around the room. There's a lot of power in this room, but nothing that equates to what you speak. I hate to say that, considering these are our allies.
Turns and looks over at Rona and Sal in that direction. He says, if it wasn't for the fact that he is quite aware of what they are and their division in the past against him, they would perhaps be the ones to speak to. He looks at Sal. Sal's just leaning up against the wall, and you could tell he's listening to all the conversations in the room.
Mhm.
He looks at Manar when Manar says that, and then kind of looks away and keeps looking around the room. Sajord looks at Ren and Zen, and he's like, so I guess this means the fleet will be coming against the Necrothians, unless,
Guess not.
I mean, with the king, I don't know. Valkyrie's like, that remains to be seen whether or not the king does that. None of us are controlled by any of the others. We are a Gold Star. And the king will do what is best for Gold Star, whatever that might be, even if it is against those within this room. Ren,
Mhm.
you know that under escort and diplomacy that working together is probably the best option in this situation. And you're not sure whether or not Gold Star is going to do that. You don't know. You're not aware whether that would happen or not. So there's several conversations taking place, and none of them seem to have direct answers. Most of them are questions. Other than Gordon saying he wants to go to Volscar, no one has really said anything.
Eris would say to Vay, so do we know if the gem activating the gem that trapped Gordon Zera in that temple, what if we use that to trap the necrophilia until we can deal with it later? Does it have to be a structure? Do you know?
Who you ask this to?
Vay.
I'm not exactly sure how it works. I do have it though.
I know you do. Maybe we should look into that, because that might give us some time with the necrophilia.
It's a good idea.
Is Car close by?
Yeah, she's right there.
Can she hear that?
Yeah.
So, Godwin's actually going to stand up and kind of start walking around the room to see if he's just gleaning other conversations, what other people are kind of saying.
Was gonna do the same thing. She's gonna move towards Lady Saber.
I have an idea, but I'm not sure if it'd work. But if we could get enough of that cured, we might be able to use it against the necrophilia. We put it in a bomb or something.
It's a good idea.
So Godwin, you're hearing these conversations over here.
Ravo and Raven.
Say what happens if we do beat the Necrothians? What comes next? Say what happens if we do defeat the Necrothians, and then what comes next?
Well, what Vay will say, what Eris suggested is using the green stone that imprisons Zera and Gordon, the one that I have in my possession, the infected nature stone that could trap the Necrothians if placed on their vessel, but it would only trap one vessel, not all of them.
I mean, if it would work,
you make
within the numbers.
We didn't make it.
Yeah, the stone making more than one, I don't know. The stone was made by a dark druid.
Can it just trap them, or would it be able to control the ship?
Well, it traps it. It seals all exits and entrances, and there is no way out.
Seals it from the outside.
Huh?
Seals it from the outside.
Yeah, it seals it from the outside. And they have other ships that could maybe free that ship once it was sealed from the outside.
Or just blow it up so then it goes everywhere else.
So
Just
there are 3 ships. This stone would take care of one of them and trap all the beings inside of it, but there's still 2 other ships. And if they're aware of what's going on, they could take care of this stone from the outside.
Unless you use the stone as a distraction by trapping one ship and then blow the hell out of the other 2 while they're trying to deal with that.
We could. Vay's like, well, we have the firepower. Our fleet is carrying enough munitions that it would be a battle. It would be hard-fought battle to kill those two father ships.
Well, I hope it'd be a battle that would be worth our time and distraction then.
Ares would say the only thing is that Sal and all of them, they're worried if we kill those Necrothians, it's going to bring Gemini.
Right.
And we don't want that.
And if we don't kill Necrothians, Gemini's troops show up anyway. So that'll be great.
So that's why I was trying to figure out how to trap them and maybe buy us some time.
And if you fight the Necrothians first, it weakens you for when he shows up.
This Necrothian table is sad.
What do you say?
This Necrothian table is sad.
Sad. You mean the discussion?
Yeah, just the whole vibe, man.
Yeah. I think we can stop the Necrothians. Bay says that. I think we have enough firepower to do so. According to the portents and the divinations from Gold Star, we are capable of doing that. Now, I know there will be losses with such a thing, though.
I'm going to say, well, then I hope your faith is well placed. And start walking away from the table.
Where does he go?
I'll actually head over to Master Rona just to bow him and to say thank you for the lessons that he has learned so far.
He'll bow to you when you walk up. He will say, "It is important to gain unity, even with those that we do not agree with."
Absolutely.
I fear that bringing Gold Star to this cause may be difficult.
I would not be surprised by that outcome.
Of course, I am not asking them to go against their god, but they should choose wisely on what they do from this moment on. For everything that is done will have a cause and effect.
And why do you feel like Gold Star would be hard pressed to come into this situation? Would it not be good for him and his people?
It would seem that the Necrothian threat, or at least repelling the Necrothians from this crystalline sphere, is one of their top priorities. It is a looming imminent threat upon this crystalline sphere, and Gold Star sees it as probably one of the highest threats currently. It may require more outside the box thinking than merely destroying the Necrothians.
Is Gold Star aware of everything we're aware of?
I do not know. Perhaps you should ask one of his minions. And he turns and looks over at that table you just walked away from.
Fair enough. Which I'll bow again and walk back over to the table to ask that question.
All right. As you get ready to do that, he stops you. He says, however, we do have one thing on our side that can be very useful to this cause if people start thinking in the right fashion. We're at the comeback in. The comeback in is a tool that can bring crucial reinforcements to a cause. It can stop the inadvertent opening of the door for Gemini and his forces. Sal has opened the option for us to use the comeback in, which means that we may shift and move through time.
Useful tool indeed.
I wonder where the Immortal Council's thoughts might be if they were to be warned prior to the chaos that took place in Bolstar.
Well, if they listened, I'm sure that it would be very vital information. Absolutely.
I wonder what would happen if some sort of deal was made with Asmodeus himself and the Necrothians were not summoned to this crystalline sphere.
I was thinking that, but I can't know this because I don't hear this. So sorry.
Your
He's
other character can hear.
saying that out loud over there. Your other character can hear. Momo
I
can
didn't.
hear.
I'm not sure how much Momo actually knows about like everything that's going on with the Necrothians, and other than what she just heard currently.
Right.
But she's learning.
Back at that table with all the Gold Star minions,
Mhm.
Ares would say again to Vary, I do not think that we should just attack the Necrothians outright. I think it's a bad idea. I think we need to think about this because, like he said, it's going to bring Gemini if we do that. Maybe we should get up and walk around and go communicate with the other people that are present and get multiple ideas.
Very well, my queen. Perhaps your beautiful face will be more accepted in my station as king.
She's gonna stand up.
Okay.
Mm.
Where you go. So Ren goes over here and comes by Val and Gordon and Zira and Anthea and goes up to
Yeah.
Sabra.
Yeah, before she does, she'll look at Gordon and Zira and she'll say, thank you for your help in space. She'll smile at him. I really appreciate what you guys did for us. She'll walk up to Sabra.
All right. He goes up to Sabra.
Does Zen just stop over there?
She does. Zen stops right there.
Is she scared?
She's
Yeah.
always been scared of Sabra. She's commented about it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. She's commented and like, damn, she's creepy. What's wrong with her?
She'll start talking to Alex while you do that. Sabra looks at you and turns her head slightly, in this weird fashion, and she'll go,
Lady Sabra. She does not like that. Lady Sabra.
No, fine. Wait a minute.
"Has the cat got your tongue?"
What are Nocturna's desires within all of this?
Do you ask as a follower, or do you ask inquisitively?
Both?
She turns and looks at Gordon and Zero right next to you guys, and then turns and looks back at you. And she's like, I'm sure that Nocturna will reveal her mysteries to you if you were to ask her directly as a follower. Though she may not be here now, I'm sure that your words will hold her attention, considering that your sway within the house of Goldstar has considerable weight.
Thank you.
She'll turn around and walk back to Zen.
Okay.
It is so hard to talk to her. It's so hard to talk to her as soon as I walked up to her.
Godwin, you walk back over.
Well, no, he's gonna. Well, first he's gonna flip Trill off, and then
Okay.
and wink, and then turn around, and actually he's gonna walk to Alexandria. Actually,
Okay.
unless Ares across his path, then he would. If she's in motion, that would catch his eye to talk to her as well.
Yeah, she was walking that way.
Who?
Eris.
Yeah. So Ares is coming this way. So yeah, you guys will kind of meet there. When you flip Trill off, she smiles at you. All right, you two meet like right here. You see Cecilia right here. She moves this way and walks over here to Lily. So you stop right here with Ares.
They're like, Ares, how are you?
Hi, Godwin.
I have some questions to ask, and maybe you would want to come along while I ask them.
Yeah. You going to talk to Alexandria?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get an idea of where everybody's at. You know, I really, really think we all need to work together. And so, yeah.
Well, it's also a time question. So
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
You see Zigzag poke out of her boot, and look at you and wave.
I'll wave at him. Weird little fucker.
What?
Creepy little fucker, he said.
That's
All right, so you guys are going to Alexandria?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. You see Alex move over there with you guys. You can see Star that's there too. And you walk up. So people start mingling and moving about. They kind of group up over here. You know what I mean? The crew of Sub Rosa's kind of over here talking to each other, kind of in their own little group circle. Elis walks over here and sits down where Ares was sitting and starts talking to Vay. Vala heads this way and goes right here and starts talking to Sal.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay, so you walk up to Alexandria and she smiles at you. She says, Your Majesty.
Alexandria.
Oh fuck! I was like, what? Oh,
Godwin.
yes. Alexandria, good to see you well.
Your Majesty, may I introduce Star?
Hey.
She's of House Alexandria. She is of House Valk.
You.
This is Her Majesty Queen of Queensland.
She's never met her before. Observation.
Okay.
I'm honored, Your Majesty.
It's an honor to meet you as well. Anybody of Valk's house is a friend of mine.
Roll observation.
Doesn't usually make this roll, but let's try. Why not? You can do it. She can do it.
You can do
Classic.
it.
No.
No. Okay. You don't notice
It's
anything.
20.
You don't notice anything.
Fucking bullshit. Bullshit.
No.
She never makes her observation.
No.
It's fucking ridiculous. She's the most unobservant person I've ever met in my life.
Which is crazy.
Alexandria says, now I know why Valkinira wanted us to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of questions raised without answers, but unfortunately I only have some more.
Well, if we all stay here long enough, I'm sure some answers will come. She kind of glances at the thing on the door.
It seems that the goddess of justice would very much be interested in working with Queens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I would, of course, have to talk to Bay, but I personally feel like we all need to work together. It's important that we're all communicating, sharing information, and making a plan. And
So the questions at hand need to be answered, and it would seem that plans need to be made, but in unison and in unity.
Yeah.
So the topics at hand are, of course, the Necropians, Manar, what is happening in Bolskar.
Speaking of Bolskar,
Yes,
in general,
and Jim.
it was brought to my attention that Sal was gracious enough to let us use the comeback in as a tool for time. And what would it take to warn the council before the chaos happened?
You mean go back in time?
changing the timelines.
Yeah.
Well, because of where we're at, it wouldn't take very much at all. But there will be repercussions from such a thing.
I do not even know or understand the full uses of the comeback in, but Eris, I will take your word for whatever it is that you know because you are familiar with it.
Well, of course, there's always repercussions. Doing anything with time doesn't come without a price.
We're
Anybody,
gonna pay a price in the future regardless, is my point.
Alex says we are in a very expensive price as we sit here and talk. How much more expensive could it be?
whatever. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it. I'm just making you aware of the ramifications of such a thing. Every single thing that is changed from that timeline based on whatever it is you go back and do will become a paradox.
Yes. Perhaps that is what is needed to fight a god of time.
Maybe it is. Maybe you're
Paradox has stopped him before. Or at least his vision, anyway.
Your question is interesting, Godwin.
Well, there's other more interesting ones as well. I will say, Queen Eris, there is concern in the room that your table's focus on the Necrothians is too focused to the eyes of
Yeah.
Goldstar.
Might I ask what a paradox is?
It's hard to explain, but basically duplicate timelines that don't add up, that there's no reason for something to have happened because the thing that caused that to happen didn't happen, but it still exists in the present. So, for example,
A statement that is seemingly contradictory or opposed to common sense and yet is perhaps true.
yes. So, say
So I both don't
Say-
understand and I don't understand in the same moment.
Yes.
Okay.
say in a past timeline there was a lake and it was completely still, right? And somebody went and they threw a stone into that lake, and that stone sits at the bottom of the lake. If somebody went back in time and changed the fact that that stone was never thrown, the stone would still be sitting at the bottom. Right? Is that a good way to explain it?
That could be a paradox, absolutely.
A
Understand.
metaphor for, and that will be present with everything that's changed.
Anthea, you can hear this conversation, by the way. Zen and Bren, you're standing there, and Alex moves over there. So what do you do? I don't want to just leave you standing there.
She'll walk over by Kara and Eden and Bay and
Okay.
all of them.
All right. So you head that way.
Yeah.
Anthea,
Yes.
your sister comes over to the table where you're at.
Who dat?
Fuck you want?
Sister, it is good to see you. I see that you are sporting the old God's mark.
She just rolls her eyes and then turns and just smiles
Yeah.
and says, well, Tessa, you know, some of us like to remain loyal, but others, you know, go where they want to.
I really wish you understood why I had to choose that direction, sister.
Your choices are your own. And you're the one that has to live with your consequences or rewards.
Well, I just do not want this barrier between us, of course, but I know that neither one of us have much time to repair it, but I do want you to know that I still love you, sister. Her teeth shine when she says that.
My eyes.
Well, know that you're still beautiful in my eyes, and I know that.
That's what loyalty looks like.
What?
Of course, and if Ariax were to come back, I would, of course, do all that I could to appease.
Well, you would jump ship again. You go to a new goddess, and then you jump ship if another one comes back. Very interesting. So lovely.
Gordon and Zira hear this.
You-
They're
you-
standing right there.
you
Okay.
did. Well, it is.
But,
It is.
you know, to each their own.
It is truly love and beauty, sister. That is all that I see. I will one day, hopefully, meet your expectations. But until then, know that I still see you as beautiful, and I still love you with all my heart.
That's nice.
And she will nod to you and then head back over to here. And you see Nixara, she like listened to all of that. She raises an eyebrow and then sits down in the chair right here. And she goes back over to the table where Natan is. Meanwhile, I know. Meanwhile, Cecilia comes up to Lily and gives you a hug. Hey,
Hi.
I know this isn't the most appropriate time, but it's been so long since I've seen you.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good.
You
You?
see Myra's eyes kind of narrow a little bit when she walks up. She's like, "Oh, I'm doing well. Vey has given me command of the Sun Chaser when he's not, chasing things in it, and I've been doing good. So I hear you own a magic item shop, the Cradle in Queensland.
Yeah.
If you require any items, I would be happy to make them. Of course, we could come up with some kind of agreement. I know that often magic is needed for such a shop, and I know you're so busy. So if you require that service, I would be happy to, for an old friend to help you with that when I can.
I actually don't have anything to do with it other than ownership. Do you remember Rabbit?
Yeah, of course.
I have kind of appointed him manager, and he takes care of everything. He and his wife Bella.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I just thought I would offer.
no, I think it's wonderful.
Not something that I need to do. I just thought maybe if you need help.
I can tell him to contact you. I had recently advised him to contact the magic school um, in Queensland
Oh,
to have certain items made, and if we were running low on certain things or didn't have certain things that people were looking for.
okay.
I suggested that he go to the magic school, but I don't know if he did that or what came of it or.
Well, have him contact me. You know, if need be, I can help out.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Of course.
I'm glad you're well.
You as well. And she'll turn and walk away. Myra just kind of looks over at you and rolls her eyes. And she heads this way and goes over here. Okay, so you a lot's going on in this room. Doll, you still been sitting over there.
Yeah, she's just listening to what's going on at the table.
Catkind seems to kind of be gathering over at this table and discussing things. You're over there, Momo. And Trill says, so perhaps we're going to be able to use this offer that the Lord of Cats has given us to travel through time freely. And I myself am quite excited about this endeavor. There's several individuals I would love to visit in the past. And say hello to in my own personal little way. You see Pendar say, Trill, he did not say that we could use it to assassinate people that you don't agree with. Look, guys, we need to try to bring everyone together here and come up with a plan. So instead of sitting here doing nothing, we should probably be mingling. So Ren and Zen are going to come over here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And discussing what we can with those that are present. Adric will get up and move and go this way. Pindar will get up and come over here. The two of them. They greet you when you come up. They nod at you and like, hey. Clip looks at you, Momo, and he's like, I know you don't know what's going on completely, but if you want to get to know people, this is a great place to do it. There's a lot of people here that have a lot of information about this world and what's going on. That table over there where Adric and Pindar just went to, or they're your kind of people. They are they're the people of Queensland, and you probably have an opportunity to discuss things with them if you felt so inclined. As Pindar said, we should be reaching out, trying to come up with allies here.
Renan's done hear all that.
Yeah.
She'll introduce herself. She'll say, "Hi, I'm Renara." To Momo.
Okay.
And Momo says, "Hello, how are you doing today?"
Well, walking around trying to get a feel for what everybody's thinking.
And the girl next to her say, "Hello, my name is Zen. It's nice to meet you." And she looks at Lady Deathstrike. Lady Deathstrike just has a serious look on her face, and Trill is like kind of watching what's happening with a smirk on her face. Um, Lady Deathstrike bows to you, Rin, and bows to Zen.
Wow.
Okay.
Like, is there any?
So you pretty much notice right off the bat, Momo, that they're Gaijin. They have no idea. They have no clue as far as that goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say as soon as she sees Lady Deathstrike, she like bows to her. So
Okay.
You've been saying this for the whole time.
So Momo will bow to. Yeah, so you could tell they're Eastern, in their ways.
Got you. They're taught that a little bit as companions,
Yeah,
but not much.
You know a little bit about the history of it. You can roll into your escort to understand
Okay.
what they're doing.
What stat for escort?
Yeah.
Which stat?
Wisdom. So
That's her down stat.
when they both bow, it's very similar bow. She's
Yeah, she
okay.
got it.
So you recognize that whatever bow this is marks them as from the same teachings of some sort. You're not sure what exactly it means, but you know that they're both from the same school of thought, school of teaching.
Okay. She would kind of nod her head and she would say, you both honor me, thank you. I know a little bit about that, but not much. And she'll kind of glance at Zen. We're taught a little bit, but it's very minimal, I'm sure, compared to what you guys know.
Yes, we've never been in the East, either one of us, but we know that your ways are steeped in honor and that sort of thing. So it's a pleasure to meet you both. As Rin said, you honor us.
you do honors. Thank you so much.
Lady Deathstrike nods when you say that, and Trill's like, so, these guys are, how do I say this?
We're companions.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means. Would that be
In your culture, it's called a oh, she'll look at Zen. What's the word for it?
She goes, geisha.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Well, geisha have many different things that they are talented in.
Yes, we some of our teachings, Zen will say, some of our teachings and training do come along the lines of geisha, like the tea ceremony that we provide. It's one of our most honored traditions.
I am. We'll have to see that at some point in time.
We would both be very honored to perform a tea ceremony for you
Oh, absolutely.
at any time, of course.
She'll kind of glance between Clip and Momo and she'll say, I overheard, do you need us to introduce you to anybody? It doesn't seem like you know many people here.
I actually don't know very many people here, and I would greatly appreciate that. I go where is needed.
Lady Deathstrike will telepathy to you, and she'll say, "The best place for a spy is in a place of unseen, and also in a place of what would seem like to be very naive. You will not be perceived as a threat. Well done, and good luck." And she turns and walks away from you, and goes over here. So basically, she's telling you, go ahead and mingle if you'd like.
to me.
So
Yeah, going with her to
So,
to just kind of learn who everybody is, or kind of get a gist of what's going on.
Yeah, they can come like kind of in front of the stage, and then she can kind of just like give you a layout of the different groups. So she'll tell you, you know, these people over here, these individuals of Gold Star, that's the king, and then the queen is over there of Queensland, and she'll just kind of give you, you know, like a layout of the
And she
different
just,
individuals.
Momo just nods her head and says, "Oh, thank you so much. Thank you."
You're killing me. Cutesy wootsy. We call that uwu. No. Okay. Let's see here.
as they're telling you this, you realize you're standing right next to Master Rona Machida. He's about 6'5", Oriental with a wolf's pelt, and looking down at you as you're talking to them. And when you notice him, he bows to you.
I bow back.
He speaks in the Eastern tongue and says hello, basically.
She'd say hello back.
Okay. He would say to you in the Eastern tongue, he would talk about your master and the teachings that you have. He would talk about the way of the one skills that you have, and discuss them just a little bit. Discuss how she's a very honorable teacher, though quite tough. That they have been friends for some time.
And in Eastern tongue, she would say, "Oh, she's been a absolute wonderful master and teacher. I've learned much from her, and I wish to learn more. As always, you never can stop learning."
Yes, and it's obvious that you are skilled because she does not just accept any student. Of course, definitely not males, but on the other hand, I can commend you for your understanding of her ways, even though you do not speak of the truth of the matter with the difficulty that it required dealing with her type of teaching. Know that I am aware of it and quite honored by your presence.
And she would just say, "The best way to sharpen a knife is by a stone."
He would say, agreed. Though sharpening a stone can happen with water.
True.
That's right, Master.
Randall to left Zen and be like, "Do you understand what they're saying?"
Zen will say, no, I don't understand a fucking word they're saying right now.
Neither.
Yeah. And then after that, he will say, I'm sorry, I don't want to dishonor your company. I will switch back to common. It's been a pleasure, he says in common.
Absolutely, sir. And she just bows her head.
Okay. He will bow back to you, and Zen, Zen will reach out for your hand, like very feminine. She reaches out for your hand.
Mm. Oh, hmm. I don't want to dishonor you, but it is actually not something I am accustomed to.
Oh,
The,
she says,
my
well, we're just girlfriends here, she says, and she wraps her arm around around Rin's arm, and she goes, we just kind of like to walk together, you know. But that's fine.
No worries. No
No
worries.
worries. I just want you to know you're welcome with us.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you so much. I just part of my culture and heritage is not one necessarily of touch.
No worries.
Totally understandable. So you were sitting with Clip and Trill and Pendar, and she'll kind of lower her voice to us. Say, "Are you cat kind? Forgive my boldness." She'll smile at her.
Mm.
They both look at you, and you see Zen say in cat tongue, because we are both cat kind.
Yeah. Okay.
I am a leopard, and well, I won't reveal what she is, but know that if you are cat kind, you are amongst family.
Well, I appreciate that, and family is most welcome. I am part of cat kind.
Well,
Wonderful.
wonderful.
They both
Can you
smile and
listen?
relax a little bit. And yeah, so all right. So you're gonna introduce her to the king, and or what? What were you doing? You guys were headed this way.
Yeah, she can introduce her to the king. She can walk around, introduce her to everybody that
Okay.
she knows, and kind of give her a lay of, as long as Vay's not actively talking to anybody because she doesn't want to up.
Okay. When you walk up, he's talking to Elis. Risa will move out of the way and move over here by Kara and sit on her lap on the chair. And yeah, you come up, and Vay is talking to Elis right now, but you see Eden there. And you also see Reva, and you see Sabian. It's obvious when you look across at this guy, he is somewhat desiccated, and you can see he looks pretty chaotic. He's drinking blood out of a bottle.
And Kara is participating in the conversation. It's just I don't have anything to say right now. So
Okay.
Rava's kicked back and she's got a cigar out.
Yeah, Reva. So
Smoking it.
Reva has a cigar, sitting next to Sabian, and then Eden on the other side. So Ren, what do? You and Sin come walking up with her.
She'll introduce Momo to Kara and Eden. She'll say, "Guys, this is Momo,
hi, Momo.
one of our new friends."
Cool.
So she just like bows to each one of them and smiles.
Eden would look at her and say, "Well, it's so nice to meet you." How are you doing today? Oh, sorry.
That came back twice.
Huge smile on her face.
So she just would do the same thing and nod and just be polite and say, "Well, it seems like there is quite a bit of problems in the air."
It would seem that way, wouldn't it? You know what? I'm not even worried about it. We'll figure something out, and Gold Star's watching all of us.
Amen.
We can do this. I'm not even worried about it.
Amen, sister. Amen. And
That's
by the
a
way,
wonderful positive mindset to have.
this is my wife, Risa.
Risa will wave at you and smile.
And she just bows and nods. Pleasure to meet you.
And you as well.
And you've already met my sister Eden, so
You, as you're talking to them, you look over and you see the king and Elis both looking at the conversation. They're like, just like Friday, you know what I mean? Like they're just both kind of like heads back, like, oh goodness, what's going on over there? Looking at you guys.
Ren will move kind of that way, and she'll say, "King Damon, this is Momo.
Momo.
Momo. She's friends with Clip and Pendar and the individuals in the corner. I was taking her around and introducing her to everybody. Momo, this is King Vayman.
Oh.
Queen.
And she does she does a little bit like more of a, not just like a head bob, not a full bow either at all,
Okay.
but she does bow a little bit lower, and she says, Majesty, it's
He looks very intense. Like there's no, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't smile or anything like that, but he nods at you. He looks intent on whatever conversation he was having with the guy next to him. The guy next to him's got a smirk on his face, kind of smiling, and he looks, like something from a smut novel. And he smiles big at you when he sees you. And the king goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you as well, Momo. What does that stand for? Because surely that's not your name."
Peach.
Momo is actually short. It's my full name is Momoka.
Momoka. Well, it is a pleasure, Momoka. Are you from the east?
My mother is.
Do you hold any allegiance to either the shogun or the emperor?
No.
This is good. Good indeed.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
My mother was most recently executed by the emperor's minion, or by the shogun's minions. It's how I became king, actually.
That is most dreadful.
Yes.
I am sorry for your loss. And she bows again.
Her funeral will be in a few days. If you're friends with the others, then you are invited as well. I do believe there have been invites sent out. He looks over across behind Eden and looks at Kara. He says, "If you would, please send her an invitation."
Yes, Your Majesty.
And she says, I am honored, Your Majesty. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Now, if there's nothing else, Ren,
Please.
he turns and looks back at Elis, and they go back into their conversation. Elis waves at you, like, behind him. He just kind of waves at you and smiles real big. You look across the table, and you can see what look like two very royal females. You know who they are, but they're sitting over here.
I was just listening, taking everything in.
Vela and Dahl, and then you would, you just kind of see who else there. And then Zen turns and she goes, "Well, let's go over here." And as she does, you guys turn and you see this vampire and this other female with a cigar.
And then say, this is I'm kind of nervous, you know.
Sabian looks at Ren. He's like, "What's up, sweet tits?"
This is Sabian and General Reva. She'll smile and kind of like guide you
Away.
Like you can tell that she's
To see it.
Trying to guide you away, and he stands up instead and bows to you, and you see a master's bow, like he is a Way of the One practitioner, and he bows to you. Even though he was all chaotic and weird at first, when he bows, his demeanor changes.
So then she would stop and then be
Okay.
honorable back and bow.
All right. And then he sits back down.
Reva will do the same.
Reva does the same, and you see that she is also a Way of the One practitioner.
And she just smiled. General?
A master, she uses her bow.
Yeah, she uses her own bow. She's a master as well. So those are two masters that you meet. So you met Rona and these two so far. And like I said, Zen and Ren, they're trying to get you the fuck away from him. They kind of hurry you this direction. It's up to you whether you go, but
As you guys are kind of moving that way, you would hear Reva kind of snicker under her breath.
yeah.
She's just gonna go around regardless because she doesn't know anybody. So she's just gonna continue walking and just, listening.
All right. Godwin, you're still
Hanging out.
over here. You're still over here with the queen. And you're talking to Alexandria, and Alexandria says, coming up with a plan to go in the past and warn the council could most definitely change the future. But it seems that even the ex-time god Rona Mashita is willing to allow this to happen.
The other thing to consider is the reason that Gemini can enter this crystalline sphere. There's a warp at the edge of the crystalline sphere right now. There's a time warp from where the Nexus left. Now, I don't know how deep we all want to go into that, but that's why he can enter, is through that. So,
It also wasn't the only mess with time idea he had.
What else do you have? Alex will say. What other ideas?
He mentioned maybe a deal with Asmodeus to make the Necrothians never show up in the first place.
excuse me?
Hey, look, I'm just, spitballing here. This is a spitball room, not a judgmental room, my queen.
I am not making a deal with him.
Alex kind of steps back from when you say that. He's like, I'm not interested in that.
I'm not either. I'm not making a deal with him. That's not happening.
I could do that.
I wouldn't suggest anybody do
They
this.
all turn to look at you, like Alex and Alexander turn to look at you.
But I mean, I'm not even sure what he'd be interested in the first place to
Our
stop
death?
that from. Well, yeah.
Well, he's always interested in power, and he's always interested in souls.
And I am not willing to give him either one. So,
Alexander would say, Godwin, I know that is perhaps an option, but I don't know if you're the one that needs to do that.
Well, you think I'm not going to go talk to that asshole.
Yeah, I mean, besides that,
this isn't like we're dealing with Mephistopheles.
it's not. It's
This
I don't
is
even know who that is. So,
completely different.
like I said, I'm just putting the ideas out there that were presented from a time god. So,
Well, they're good ideas, but we need to be careful about how we go about this and who does it exactly. And I'm sure there are those here that would be greatly against such ideas. If we're that against it, I'm sure those members of Gold Star over there would be greatly against it.
So we don't discuss it with them.
well, it
Yes.
kind of goes against the whole unity concept, then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Eris would say it does go against the unity concept, and I want to make it clear that I am, if that's not being done, there's no reason to bring it up, but I will not hide anything. Okay.
Val's gonna step up next to Anthea, where Anthea's sitting, and she's just been standing there listening. And she'll say, there's no way to win in a deal with Asmodeus, no matter what. No matter what.
She says that to this group over here talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No matter what. There's win. You would lose your soul, and he would not follow through on what as he had promised.
Since Anthea's sitting next to her, she can hear this, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I could both hear that whole conversation. They're only like 5 feet away.
Goblin was allowing just open discussion because he's in the room and he's like, hey, everybody needs to be in on this. I'm not fucking telepathying and hiding, this and that. I'm open booking this.
Crazy idea. But as I told you, some of you earlier, Asmodeus is fallen. We're in a place that also goes back and forth in time. Is
You mean
could that possibly be a possibility before he fell?
me
Crazy
as a
idea.
death or
You
still in
mean you see? You hear Alex kind of chuckle. He's like, "Are you talking about his angelic blood?
Yes.
We don't know how long ago that was, but
I mean, if he is both angelic and then he fell, that is the opposite.
Hmm.
But I don't know when, right?
I mean, unless
I think
there
we
was
wouldn't
even
know when that actually happened, correct?
right.
Time.
You don't know when it was, but that gets the attention of Gordon, who kind of
Yeah.
moves up and sits down right here. You would actually see Sabra move over here to right here.
This is actually a very interesting topic.
I like the way you think.
Uh, so how do we find out when he fell?
Zin
well,
said,
even if we did, I mean, are we gonna be able to get a weapon against himself in the future? I mean, I don't. Is he always? Did he want to fall?
Zin says, "You're talking about something very ancient and very old. It was a long, long time ago when this happened. I can tell you that I have some knowledge based on my teachings of the lower planes that it is rumored that, well, it is rumored that there was an angelic being that was the cause of his fall. I don't know how much truth is in it, but there's an angel known as Samael who was supposedly involved in the falling of Asmodeus from his angelic state.
How far is Car away from that?
Too far to hear.
Probably too far to hear.
Too far to
Yes.
hear.
Thankfully.
Just out of range, most likely. Yeah, it's out of range.
Godwin yells, "Who the fuck is Samael?"
Ah, you hear that?
Okay, that's got Car's attention. She's like, why are we discussing that name?
Yeah, Eden, you hear it too.
Cara, calm down. Calm down, sweetheart. Calm
Zin
down.
says he is an angel.
I know. I'm very well aware.
No,
He's
no,
also a son of a.
She says that to Godwin, and
Oh.
she says it in a whispered tone.
Oh, then never mind.
Eden would say to Cara, Cara, bring it down. Bring it down. Calm down. It's okay.
Yeah, Godwin, you see something over there, some kind of reaction over there.
From the angels.
The angelic beings
You
over
see some little bit of upheaval.
there.
Notice she did not repeat the name.
Yeah. This lady steps right next to you, Star,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "You're nuts. Why in the world are we discussing that name? Do you know
We
the
were
repercussions?"
we were discussing what caused the big A to fall from his angelic blood.
Oh. That name that you mentioned it is not good to speak of that name. I know that we are inside of some sort of temporal inclusion or exclusion, but it is not good to speak his name. I should warn you.
The list of names that we're not supposed to speak is growing so long. I don't even.
It is.
He is probably not one that should be broken. I have personal knowledge of this being that you speak of. He is the father of my daughter. And she looks across the room over at Kara.
I don't know if Godwin knew that. So I mean, obviously, I guess if he's following her gaze, I guess he'll find out pretty quick anyway.
Yeah. Well, he's
So
looking over
who's
Kara.
talking again?
Who's Kara?
No, not Kara.
Valkyrie.
Captain Valkyrie.
Captain Valkyrie. It's this lady right here. That is Kara's mother.
We are just trying to find out if there's a way to approach. What did you call him? The
Ass
big
man.
And it,
without losing a soul, or can we approach get to him before he falls?
Her eyes get kind of big, and she's like, I would have no idea.
And,
I appreciate your wisdom, Miss Aries.
No,
and
man.
Let's come up with something else to call him.
She will bow away, bow her way back out of this and back over to here.
You know what? Coming up on conversations you don't want to be a part of. Thank you.
Listen, Godwin's having him. Godwin's just gonna say shit. Like,
so this son of a bitch caused the big A to fall.
Well, like Alexandria said, we don't know if that's true or not.
Well, actually, it is.
Is it?
Well, it is a rumor. That's what Zen says. She says it is a rumor, but it is quite well known that was the cause. Now, this was a long time ago. Like, I know that this inn will allow us to go forward and backward in time. By the way, may I introduce Momo? She says, and she changes the subject. She says, "Your Majesty, this is Momo. She is cat kind."
Nice to meet you.
pleasure to meet you. Thank you all. She bows.
And this is Godwin and the Alexandria and the Alex. She looks over at Star. She's like,
I'm Star, and she bow the same as Momo did.
okay. She shows way of the one skills as well.
oh yeah, I guess I should probably do that.
You do that?
Godwin will bow.
So when Godwin bows, you recognize the bow as Rona's. It's the same. Momo.
And she, I mean, bow back and just
Okay.
I get to make my own bow.
what did you say?
So now I gotta make up my own bow.
You don't get your own bow until you become a master, man.
Well, I did when I became an immortal man.
You got to become a master of the way to get your own bow. All the way. You got to go all of them.
Once again, another cool kid club.
Unless you want to be a Ronin.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, sorry about that. We're gonna take just a quick break real quick as you guys wander around and discuss everything that's going on. Shortly after that, right before we take our quick break, as you guys are talking, Sal will speak up and he will say, "It seems that you're all getting to know one another and you're coming up with some questions and perhaps some answers or ideas. I'm going to release the temporal distortion from this room, but I would ask you all not to leave, come back in at this current time. It's not that I'm locking you here. It is an opportunity for you all to stay out of time and continue to learn and discuss things in the correct way. When you have some sort of plans together, please send a representative to my office and I will discuss it with you. I will discuss using the come back in as a tool to battle the oncoming evil that is currently happening, the things that we discussed." And he will turn and walk out, and he will go through the door to the south down here. He opens this door. He says, "My office is through here, by the way." And then he will close the door and go this way. And that's where we're going to take a quick break. And we'll come back for about another 30 minutes and we'll end this episode and start another one. Sound good?
Yep.
Rock and roll.
All right. We will see you guys shortly. Clippers TV was here. Hey, what up? What up? What up? Good to see ya. Thanks for coming.
Fire.
Says we're fire.
Yeah, he I wonder, is it a he or she or what?
I have no idea. I haven't gone and looked at your profile.
I don't think we can ask that, man.
I know. I'm gonna get in trouble, right?
I'm gonna get canceled.
I'm gonna get canceled for asking that question.
Didn't you realize they've canceled DEI?
Yeah, I know. I know, but
I
I
hate-
still right is right, wrong is wrong. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's actually radiant.
and we're radiant.
It's radiant, not fire, of course.
Anyway.
Oh, I can eat a mushroom.
That's definitely near a fire. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
There you go.
It's
Fire.
near a flame.
We'll see you guys back shortly. And we're back. Howdy ho.
We're back.
Howdy ho.
Hello, hello.
All right. Sal just left the room. Vala, when he leaves, she walks this way and goes straight over to Reva and Sabian.
So Lily's just sitting there trying to listen to what's going on.
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she
So-
was, but
so
we
before-
missed that
Before
opportunity.
they were out of your range, just barely.
Yeah.
For you to hear what Vala and Sal were talking about.
Damn. To have been a fly on the wall with that conversation.
Are Lady Deathstrike and Trill talking about anything?
No, they're just both sitting there watching everybody.
Murder staring.
Yeah.
Paula say anything to Rainbow and Sabian when she walks up?
Yeah, she just walks up to them both and looks at them. Nods. She like,
Not back.
Vala is
Vela's mother.
that's
Vela's mother and
She
Ray.
looks at Sabian. She goes, "You don't look too good."
Hmm.
He's like, "Neither do you. You're not a fire anymore. You wouldn't know what this is about." You see her kind of clench her jaw a little bit. She's like, "It's what it is, young one." She smiles at him. So, how's the fam? You see him kind of look nervous for a second. He goes, "I don't know. I don't know." Oh, you don't know.
Rava kind of raises an eyebrow.
Did they escape the purge? And he's like, I would assume they did. I don't know. I don't know. I'm talking to them. Oh. Well, if you wanted to know, they did. And she smiles at him. He's like, okay, great. Takes a swig off his bottle. So how do you fare, Reva?
Good.
Seems that quite a bit is happening.
Yeah.
So His Majesty, and she looks to her left, and Vay's still talking to Elis,
Mm-hmm.
has stopped the war on the east, at least for now. We did not assault, so there's still time for you to come and command troops. Being a problem.
She laughs.
I'd be happy to place you right in. I can even give you a dragon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, dragon high lords are the generals within our army over there in the east, in the northeast. Been a while since you've been back to your roots, to the northern realms. Isn't it getting hot down here? Or down there?
Maybe. Could be fun. I'll think about it. I don't know. We'll see what happens here.
Well, if His Majesty decides to go to war, then of course you're more than welcome. I can't even submit if you would like for his approval of you coming to the meeting.
Just looked at her like, really? Too many fronts. Too much shit going on.
There are. Should start taking care of some of this.
Seems like that's what we're here doing.
Congratulations on Mammoth. Well done.
Yeah, that would have been him and Sunshine over there.
She looks back over at Eden. Well, nonetheless, I'm sure there'll be a song on it sometime, and I'll be able to hear the semi-truth details.
Yeah. I think, well, really glad to say it's anyone's business.
See, yeah, there'll be some songs. Don't worry.
They're gonna do a thing.
Yeah.
No, Neris.
Oh, excellent. I look forward to hearing it. Yeah. You two seem kind of out of sorts right now. I hope everything's going well. I guess I'll see you at the funeral if I don't see you before. I don't know when they're going to let us out of here, but I don't know what else I can do to help.
Well, fuck, man, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what the fuck I can do to help.
Well, I guess I'll sit down, and she goes over between
Jesus
Sabian
Christ.
and Vay, and she sits down right here.
No way. Sorry, she doesn't say that out loud. She's like, fuck.
Congratulations, Reba,
What?
on attaining mastery.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
About time.
Yeah. So have you chosen any students yet?
Mm-mm. I don't have time for that.
Yes. You understand now. Seth, you're still standing over the corner over here. You haven't really done anything.
Yeah, he's gonna walk over to Sabian,
Okay.
stick his hand up, and say, "I wanted to thank you for everything you've done for Vela."
Yeah, I think anybody would have done it.
I wouldn't say anybody.
I hate that bastard.
I understand.
Yeah,
And so do I.
he'll shake your hand. His hand's cold as the ice. So cold.
And if there's anything I can ever do for you, just ask.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it, Seth.
When we get back to the castle, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I don't think this is the appropriate place.
There's a lot going on right now, evidently. I guess we're supposed to be making alliances with people.
True. And he looks over at Raven and says, "General," nods. Looks at Vela and says, "Your Majesty."
Vala.
Vala, excuse me. Sorry. Names, just names.
She smiles when you say that. She looks at Reba.
Reba kind of raises an eyebrow. Silent exchange there.
Mm-hmm. He'll go back over to Vela.
Okay. All right, you head back over this way.
Yeah.
All right.
As he's heading that way,
Yeah.
he's going to telepathy Sal
Okay.
and say, "Brother, I have a question."
Yeah.
You talk about House Rising. Would that save Vela from the Ancient?
Well, it'll certainly make her immune to blood magic unless she decides to start practicing it like a fucking dipshit. Sabian.
Oh.
House Rising, drinking from the cup makes you immune to blood magic. Unless you make certain deals and change that, like I said, like the idiot did.
What
Well,
about
I suppose it's a good thing he did that, or you all would have been in some trouble with men.
agreed? But what about compulsion and stuff like that?
Yeah, the cup rising, you would be completely immune to such things. There's a problem though. I don't think Bayman would allow it. The Amores are very much like their mother. She was once rising,
And where?
and I don't know if the children would be willing to take that step, let alone allow Vela to do it. He's probably pretty busy right now, but I understand your concern. He was not mentioned in the discussion because he's of no importance currently. The things that he's doing revolve around trying to purify his race.
Right. She's terrified of him. Just for the mere fact that he's awake, she's absolutely terrified. And I swore I would do everything I can to protect her. And I will die for her, no matter what it takes.
Well, to be in House Rising, I would need to know that she would be useful. It sounds like right now she's currently in a state of trouble. That doesn't mean it wouldn't be an option.
Right.
Taken many that have been in states of trouble and brought them into the House of Rising and improved their situation. She would have to be willing, and for her to be willing, being of the House of Moray, she would. Yeah, I would not do it without their okay. But would it protect her? It would certainly help her.
I could ask her.
So when Seth first walks away to go talk to Sabian,
Yeah,
Doll is going to reach out her hand and touch Vela,
okay,
grab her hand.
all right. All right. She smiles at you.
Yeah, she'd scoot her chair a little bit closer. Um,
So,
you don't have to be alone anymore. I know that you're scared, and I know that we're just cousins, but I want you to know that until you and Seth are married, I'm not going to leave you by yourself ever again.
she smiles and grabs her hand. She goes, I am protected. I know that. It's not. Look, cuz. And she smiles. Something in me I can't get rid of. I don't really want to talk about it.
You don't
It
have to.
grows on me the more I talk about it. And I don't really want to, but I appreciate you so much. And I look forward to us being close cousins. And yeah, we've got so much in common. There's so much going on with the two of us that is the same. So I look forward to you staying around. And she smiles. I heard that you were supposed to go to classes, so maybe I should go with you and help.
I would love that.
I was told that they were bringing an etiquette teacher in, and I don't know who it is, but I'll help. I mean, I know everything. I wonder if I could just ask them if I could teach you.
That would be really cool.
That way we wouldn't have to worry about some
It,
crotchety old lady or
yeah.
some asshole trying to teach
And
you.
I know I don't know anything about anything, but it seems all very inconsequential at this point. I mean, I know it's important to Vay
You know,
that I be his proper daughter, but
it's something that could be useful to you in the fashion that if you look the part of a princess, then others will respect you as a princess. If you've noticed the way that the paladins treat me, if you notice the way the priests and priestesses of Goldthorpe treat me,
it's different.
it's with a great deal of respect. They can see the difference. And for you to learn these things could be very respectable and proper. Now, I don't see that as a bad thing. Like, I know that you might see that as a bad thing. I hope not. But I mean, do you think what I do is wrong, or that I am
No, I think you're wonderful.
okay? Well, look, you are a princess. You're the daughter of the king of me. If anyone should be respected, it should be you. Not only that, things to deal with other countries and state, it'd be best for you to do that. The people need a princess. And they have me, but I'm not the princess. You
This sounds so weird.
I know. I know. But you'll grow into it. You're doing so well. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I got you too, she says, and she holds you. Seth, you come walking back.
Yep.
About that point.
When he gets back, he'll put his hands on her shoulders and kiss the top of her head, and then go back to guard mode.
Okay. All right.
Guard.
Is that Pindar next to her?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, Pindar's just sitting next to Vela, and Adric and him come. And so they was speaking with Elis, but Pindar and Adric kind of sat down like as if they wanted to talk to him, but they waited. And then you see them start to talk to Vey and discuss what's going on. And Vey starts talking about, well, he doesn't start talking about it. Pindar brings it up. He says, so you've prepared the fleet for a desperate assault on the Necrothians. And, they've been bolstered by 2 additional father ships. You know that you were going to take losses against one of them. Against 3, you might do well, but you're going to lose some people. I mean, there's a looming battle either way, however we look at it, with the tensions brewing among, the Necrothians and us. The mention of this cure and what it could entail might be the best option. So I would suggest that be discussed. At least you would understand that there's another option, hopefully. Vey's like, of course, I take the wisdom of all counsel given. All wise kings would do that. So, what do you think? What do you think Queensland should do about the Necrothians? You see Pindar like kind of shocked. He's like, Adric smiles and looks at him and goes, yes, Pindar, what do you think a king should do against the Necrothians?
Here, Rava kind of snickered from the next table. We're just real quiet if you're
Pindar's
close.
like, well, honestly, if we can infect them with this cure, if there's a way to do that, then you would save a lot of lives.
May I speak on the cure?
Turns and looks at him. Of course, princess. And Vey's like, yeah, what's up, doll?
The key ingredient,
Zed, you're hearing all this, by the way.
and Kara may speak on this as well. The key ingredient is something that is from the future that we have no knowledge of. We have a small portion of it, but we have no knowledge of how to process it. We don't even know what it is.
It comes
Kara
from
and
outside of the sphere.
yeah, it's not from this crystalline sphere. We don't know what it is, and Kara and I are both masters at alchemy and inventing. And we have no idea how to even process it to begin to make more potions.
Given time, we could do it, but right now it's going to take some time.
It would take all of our effort and focus, and then there's still no guarantee that we would learn or figure out how to process it. But it would definitely take time. It's not something like normally the two of us together can snap our fingers and make things happen. That's
Xavier-
not the case with this
Xavier
material.
would step up right here and he would say, I know where the material comes from.
Do tell.
It comes from a world that Gemini took over. And it can be required, but it would require a great deal of stealth, and moving into that world, it would require stealth. We would not want Gemini to see anybody entering that world. And of course, any world he controls, he sees most of what's in there. The fact that he is a time god, sometimes he will see things before they happen, if you know what I mean. Figure out a way to do it without being seen.
Reva can hear all this, right? Because she's right there.
Yeah,
She would telepathy away
he's talking loud.
and say, run. That's all she'll say. Calico.
Zed's also going to ask, well, how much, like, if we had some of the cure, I mean, however much we have or what we need, if we could use it as a weapon against the ships, would it be the same concept that they talked about going to the eye and nuking the ship, or if we could contaminate and cure the center of the being in each of the three ships, if we could sneak into each three?
Well, we know, and this is vague, he says, but we know that this necrophage spreads and that it is part of all that they are. It is in their ship. If we could infect it and allow it to alter it at its base level, it could spread through all of them. I'm not sure how much that would take to do it. We don't know, but we do know that it absorbs other materials, genetic materials, and changes them and alters it and adds it to themselves. This might not take a lot of it. I don't know. Obviously, they're connected in a psionic or a mental way, so maybe.
That I'm very familiar with.
Say again.
So that I'm very familiar with.
How much is in each one of those vials? Dram?
I think we have 25 vials,
Yeah.
I think.
How many per vial?
How many what?
One
Is those-
dose.
One dose.
One dose per vial, and we have 25 or 29?
You have 24.
24.
You have 24. Actually, you have 25. A has one, but
I'm
You have
trying to think of how big those vials are.
you have 24.
How much liquid is in each?
Yeah.
About the size of my thumb?
Yeah.
Like potion.
Okay, so I'm trying.
And then you have enough of the genetic material, or enough of the material to make 50 more.
It's not enough to infect
Xavier
the
was
whole
saying
ship.
the material that affects the necrophage and cures it, the key ingredient that comes from this world, is living.
What is it called? What is its name?
You can name it whatever you want it. Xavier says. It's new to this world, so name it whatever you want to name it. But the world it comes from, and the reason I say that is the minions of Gemini name. You might as well name it your own name.
Okay.
The world that it comes from, it is a living organism.
So 50 of those vials would be enough if you take into account the dispersal rate.
50 of those vials would be enough to infect one ship.
They would say, how do you figure?
Using math. Sorry,
You don't know the size
That
of
would-
that vessel.
that would disperse it. If you use one of those big bombs, I'm going by basic dispersal rates. That would put 1,000 feet out.
But do we know that this material will survive an explosion? I mean, it will spread.
If it's living matter, then it would. I'm not going at the highest yield. I'm going by a dispersal rate on a.
Well, we need to be for sure about this.
If you're going at the highest yield in one of those bombs, it would destroy all the liquid. It would destroy. I don't know about that material. I don't know what that material is made of. I'm going based on the easiest destroyed liquid that goes into that, which would be the sulfur, which is not liquid. It's actually flammable liquid or flammable mineral. But if you use the high yield dispersal, when it hits, it would, instead of catching fire, it would just disperse. So you would have to take out all the explosives in the head.
This is like, why do we need to explode it? Why can't we just add it to their genetic material? Anything that's dropped on their floors, or
we could do that.
Especially if we took the ship and one of us was
Because my brain doesn't work that way.
conducting one of the experiments we already conducted and took it right into the heart of their ship and stuck it into the heart of that ship.
We could do that.
so they will say, we have some of them captured. We could use on one of them to see what it does.
We could do
That
that.
was going to be my next question. If we had tried it on one of the bodies that we do have.
And is this the right choice, Faye will say? Because if this destroys them, does it bring Gemini? And Adric says, well, that is the question that we have come up with. But as far as I've been able to determine, whether we take care of the Necrothians or not,
He's coming.
he's coming. So if we don't take, he's coming. If we do take care of them, he's coming. And what we know about the Necrothians is that they have no ally.
So
Even being brought here by Gemini or by Asmodeus, they have no allyship with Asmodeus, which means they are possibly an asset against Gemini.
could we send it into the future against him?
Or the past.
Well, we've also talked about trying to communicate with them to see what deals they would make.
We have, but I know from our importance that they hold no alliance or allegiance to anyone, including Asmodeus, who summoned them and made his initial agreement with them. Asmodeus did possess some of them as well. There are Necrothians out there that are possessed by Asmodeus's minions. So, can they be used as a weapon? This is Bay. Can they be used as a weapon against Gemini? That's what we should probably be concentrating on.
Right.
And the other side, if we take them off the board with a cure to themselves, does that take them, off the board for him in the future? Because obviously a lot of what the cure and everything, that's going to change a lot of even the genetics that he had them in the future.
Yes, if we use them as a weapon against Gemini and we have the cure, obviously it came from Gemini, but if we have the cure and they come against us, at least we have that. But we could come up with this plan of destroying them, but it will also be a distraction against Gemini. If he's to come to this world, he has to deal with them just like we do.
And we could pretty much work together. As he's fighting them, we could be fighting him. Except, how do we battle those ships? we've looked at he points at Zed, or she points at Zed and says, we've looked at his ship. I don't think we could take his ship out of, let alone there. If their ships are made of the same material, I don't know that we could destroy those ships.
Xavier says, there's nothing that you currently possess that will harm Gemini ships.
That's the problem.
However, there are ways that Gemini's own weapons can harm his own ships.
Okay. Especially if we,
He looks over at Zed and he's like, if we go back in time or we go forward in time to a certain location that we know there are ships and weapons, we could perhaps try to steal some. At least that would give
That
us
would
some
bolster
harm.
the fleet here, give us a defense against him, and do at least somewhat of a blow to his
That's a
vast
good-
power.
Also, if we know what those weapons are, we can engineer more of them.
We, myself and Zed, we could. I mean, really, all we got to deal with, Zed, would be, Dal.
Do you want to try to bring Dal back?
No, he's not going to flip, but he'd be the only one we'd have to deal with.
take Dal out.
We know where where their ship's at. We know where I know where there's a massive ship that would be very useful to us.
Be good for some pirating, I think.
Would. He smiles. But if we could bring that ship and some of the others back, some of the other materials, that ship in itself, the large one, Zed, it has weapons, and it can harm Gemini's equipment.
Well, any damage we can do or defend ourselves against will be helpful.
Well, it's only one ship against Gemini's thousands, but at least we have it.
To start.
It is a start. And not only that, that ship could be very useful against the Necrothians.
Do you like the idea?
I mean, it would ensure that pretty much the Necrothians couldn't harm us if we took that ship with us.
Well, if we're dead set on handling the Necrothian problem, then we're going to need firepower that's capable of doing so.
Does that
Agreed.
big ship that you're talking about, does it have smaller ships on it?
It does.
That if you had other pilots, they could pilot the smaller ships?
Yes, if so. The problem is the troops that are on board that ship. I don't know if they're aware that I have flipped.
Oh.
This is a time-sensitive thing.
Right.
Even if they are aware, maybe we could go to the right time where I know where I am and I know where Dal is. Zed and I, by my command, take control of that ship. Bring it here.
That's a good idea.
I'm down to give it a shot.
Dun dun dun.
So at least there's that idea, and we can use the come back in to go to that time. Or, if there was just one of us going, we could use the ship that Zed has. But I don't think we need both of us. Well, I have to go because there's no way Zed could command that vessel. They wouldn't allow that. They wouldn't listen to him. They would listen to me though. But then the question comes with when I get them here, how are we going to deal with it? Because there's probably a couple thousand for that vessel.
Well, the king has a couple of thousand paladins.
Well, these are paladins and these are unholy and holy paladins, and they have much better equipment than the ones that
We have clip.
you. He raises an eyebrow and looks over.
I bet he's excited to get.
Adrian said, "Yeah, we got Clip."
Yep.
Clip looks over at you guys like, "What?"
Clip's mad right now. Everybody's sitting in here talking about time travel and
Yeah.
fucking up
Right.
time, creating paradoxes. He's mad as a motherfucker, I'm sure.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy sitting in the corner over there, and he's got his hands on his artifact around his neck. He's
Yeah.
got his hands on it. He's just watching everybody, looking around at what's going on. He says, "So, I think this is a good plan, but we need more than this plan. If we're going to start using the comeback in, we need to have all our ducks in a row and do them all at the same time. We don't want him to be aware that we are jumping through time.
Correct.
Because the first time we do something, from that moment on, he's going to be aware. So if we do them all at the same time, separate operations, number one, we could warn the council. Number two, we can get a ship.
How close in time are those two things?
Well, during the time that I'm talking about, the council's still together and Volscar is still okay. So it can be done at the same time.
Okay. It's the least amount of time jumping, the better.
At that point, Bay would stand up and he goes, "Excuse me all, can I have your attention?" And he would go to the front here on stage. And everybody kind of stops talking and turns and looks at him. He goes, "There's been some discussions about some ideas, but what I need is your help. As Sal and Master Rona have stated, there's some things that we could perhaps do with the comeback in to bring this back in this war back into the balance, back into our favor. One of the things that's been discussed is that we capture a vessel from Gemini. Xavier, Zed here have the ability to do so. Not only that, they also have the ability to perhaps collect some material for the necro page here. Also, what's been mentioned is going back at the same time as we do this and warning the council within Volscar so that they are prepared for what is going to happen. The Immortal Council. What I need from all of you is some other ideas, things that we could come up with teams to go and accomplish these goals all at the same time. Because if we don't do them at the same time, Gemini is going to be aware that we're doing this and altering time. So it all needs to be done same time.
Seth,
Motherfucking time heist.
what can we do as a
I think
distraction?
that's the name of this episode.
What?
Motherfucking time heist.
What can we do as a distraction for all of this? At the same time, where somebody's going for the council, somebody's stealing a ship. What can the rest of us do?
Well, I think some of the ideas that we have on the side can be helpful and be just a distraction.
Right. But something's got to be big enough that it's going to distract Gemini, Nanar, whoever else. What's it going to take to be a distraction?
For those of you that have ideas, I would like for you to submit those ideas to Kara. Kara, I would like for you to write them all down.
She pulls out a
Take a
writing.
look at it, come up with a plan on possibly doing all these things at once.
Yes, Your Majesty.
You hear Vala say, "We might be able to save our mother."
Agreed.
I mean, I know there's a big funeral planned, but we can continue the funeral and still save her life. Just an idea.
Reva would look up at Vay and say, I'll volunteer for it.
What?
Reva would look up at Vay and say, I'll volunteer for that.
Sounds like a distraction.
Write that down, Carr.
Kid. She got a rating kit in front of her, sitting
Okay.
on Risa's lap.
Cliff goes, am I the only motherfucker in this room that's scared of paradox? Am
Yes.
I only the only individual that thinks that these ideas are absolutely fat and that crazy?
Yes.
No, we
That's-
all agree that they're crazy, but they just might work.
Look,
We can fix it later.
you say that. He walks over to the center of the room. He goes, you all, I've been involved in paradox. I know what it's like. I know what happens. I've been stuck. Trust me when I say this. Forces you're messing with, even I know I follow Sal, but I think he's crazy. I think this whole fucking idea is crazy. And Rona, you know better. He turns and looks at Rona, and Rona raises an eyebrow.
Do you have any solutions?
What
What-
else do we do? Clip, let it happen?
What you're talking about doing is opening up a time stream, opening up the possibility of doing things that we're scared Gemini's going to do already. Maybe he knows this is going to happen. Maybe he knows you're going to mess with time.
So your plan is to not mess with time and hope that he wanted us to mess with time and doesn't mess with time himself.
I don't have a plan. I'm not coming here saying I have a plan. I'm coming here saying I've been stuck in a paradox before, and you don't want that. It could destroy the world. You could all be stuck. Anybody involved in this could be stuck. I just think it's something to think about. And I'm a little shocked that Master Ronan and Sal would even suggest this. It makes me wonder if there's something else going on. If simply suggesting it, I don't know. Maybe
Seth would look at him and say, you know, the last thing I ever want to do is mess with time. But what if we don't have an alternative? What if I don't ever meet her?
well, that's certainly a possibility if you mess with time.
I'm aware.
There's certainly a possibility that none of us ever meet. It's certainly a possibility that those you love, you never know.
Right?
Trust me when I say this. It's possible that those you love the most become the vilest creature you've ever met. And you lose them forever.
But everything I think of leads back to something even worse.
You're really killing the vibe on my time heist here, man.
I'm sorry, bro, but
Hey, man, you know I'll go back to the streets of Oscar right now and just keep swinging until I die if that's the other plan that's better than fucking with time. But we're here to all come to an agreement and do whatever we all agree to do in unity. Whether that's time fuckery, going out swinging, moving towards the future without it, whatever it takes.
he walks up over to Rona and looks him straight in the face and he's like, did you fucking know that I lost Lene, the love of my life, because of this bullshit and this kind of talk? As far as I'm concerned, I'm not involved with this. You want to fuck with time? I'm out. And he turns and he walks out of the room and goes back into the other part of the come back in. And that's where we're going to stop this episode, and we will come back on the next one.
Don't mess with time.
Rona seems to be amused right now. He doesn't seem to be his normal self. He seems to be somewhat amused with the situation. Almost like there's a joke going on or something. You're not quite sure what it is.
Observation, gut feeling.
What do you say?
Observation, gut feeling.
Observation, gut feeling. All right, I'll give you a gut feeling. What's your question? What's your gut feeling about?
Just whether there's more to the questions like between like that Sal and Master Rona have posed to the group, or like if there's more to it than us just being part of the discussion, I guess basically.
Okay, and I'll give you an observation too.
All right. All right, crush both. Good to go.
All right. Obviously, Clip is incredibly emotional about this, and he's mentioned the love of his life. Rona, it's almost like it's almost like he's proud of what's being done. As far as Sal goes, you with that gut feeling, you feel like you get a good feeling in your gut about the idea, about what Sal submitted.
What Sal submitted?
Yeah, you said you wanted to do a gut feeling about Rona and Sal and what they said. And you get a good feeling in your gut about what Sal said.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
And you would also realize that Rona and Clip aren't the only two that are aware of Lene, the name Lene in that situation.
Nice.
You look over and you can see Eris seems to be aware of something, and also Pindar. And I'll leave it at that. And we will stop this episode and come back.
Shit, man.
We are Original GM, you guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Hit the ding ding button on YouTube, and
We'll be back in just a little while.
yeah, we'll be back here in a little while. We're going to take about an hour break, and we'll come back for the next episode and continue on with the episode 49, and then we'll do episode 50, and then next week, guess what?
It's a season finale.
Season finale, 3 episodes in a row.
Dun dun
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun. So we'll see you guys after a while. We are Original GM.
As the dawn breaks, shadows flee. In our victory, we are free. Timeless heroes, legends grand. Together we save this land.